What's up, everybody? This is Master Ian Gamer with some huge news for Overwatch and all of Activision-Blizzard's titles, because less than an hour ago, Microsoft has officially announced that it'll be purchasing Activision-Blizzard. Yeah, Microsoft is buying Blizzard and Activision, but this is an Overwatch channel, so we focus on Blizzard games here, specifically being Overwatch. And that gets into the big point of this video. What the heck does this mean for Overwatch? Now, I'll be honest, I was not expecting to hear this news when I got up this morning, so I'm still in a bit of shock, so to say, in terms of trying to figure out what exactly this is going to end up meaning. Already, I've been seeing a lot of hot takes from people in both directions, in favor of this acquisition and some against, but I just want to share my thoughts on all this, which is that I'm optimistically nervous. So let's start by looking on the bright side. Microsoft is a big company with a big reputation, and Activision-Blizzard was as well for a long time, up until this past year most notably. So perhaps with Microsoft acquiring Activision-Blizzard and taking the reins, so to say, for all their big projects, such as Overwatch, they'll be able to implement a sort of, clear, coherent direction for the game. No more fumbling about for 3 years, giving us only vague updates that they then go back on a month later because they decided to change their work-in-progress game. Maybe Microsoft will just be like, Overwatch 2, get it out the door. Need more funding? Here you go. Devs, get on it. That sort of thing. So maybe that'll end up being the case, and maybe Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard will help to push things along for Overwatch 2 and the Overwatch franchise at large, but it's honestly just hard to say at this point. One other potential benefit to this acquisition is cleaning up the company. Activision Blizzard, as I'm sure you're all very well aware of at this point, doesn't have a great reputation anymore, at least, in terms of its workplace environment. And there's been a lot of discussion about how to best fix that, what Blizzard needs to do as a company to, clean itself up. Seems like they haven't been taking that many great steps to clean up over the past several months. But with Microsoft buying the company, maybe Microsoft can then step in and be like, all right, fix this, treat these people better, make sure these things are fair and whatever. Yeah, I think out of everything that's going to happen with this acquisition, that's probably one of the safest positive things we can bet on taking place, which is great because Blizzard really was in the gutter with that. So I'm optimistic for them improving the company itself in the workplace environment, but there is one little caveat to this, which I will mention. A lot of people I've seen already are getting excited thinking, oh, Microsoft buying Blizzard, that means CEO Bobby Kotick, he's going to be out the door. No, evidently that's not going to be the case. According to Microsoft's own official press release, Bobby Kotick will continue to serve as CEO of Activision Blizzard, and he and his team will maintain their focus of driving efforts to further strengthen the company's culture and accelerate business growth. So yeah, plain and simple, they're not planning to fire Bobby Kotick, at least not at this point in time, so he's still going to be there. Granted, I think things can still improve with Microsoft in charge, but just in terms of removing Bobby and taking care of that whole situation, no, it doesn't look like this is going to actually solve anything. Also, another big caveat to this whole acquisition, specifically considering Overwatch and the development of Overwatch 2, is that anytime a big company buys another big company, it basically results in an internal nightmare for a pretty significant period of time. There's all these sort of departments running into each other because there's so much reorganization going on when you acquire big companies like this, a bunch of restructuring, redesignating teams and whatnot. So I have to admit, at the very least, I think this could only slow development of Overwatch 2, if anything, simply due to all the internal turmoil there's inevitably going to end up being because of this change. I know it really sucks. We've already been having to wait so long for Overwatch 2, and there have been so many development hurdles already, but sadly, I think this is probably going to end up proving to be another hurdle, at least in the short term of development for Overwatch 2. Maybe in the long term, it'll end up benefiting the game once it, finally comes out. We'll just have to wait and see, though, because it's messy. This whole situation is messy when just trying to predict what exactly it means for the individual franchises within Blizzard following this acquisition. And speaking of timelines and whatnot, in the same press briefing I referenced earlier, it also mentioned that this acquisition isn't expected to close until 2023, so that's just giving you a bit of a time frame for how this sort of thing works. Literally, it's going to take at least a year for Microsoft to fully acquire Activision-Blizzard, and probably over the course of 2022, we're going to see a lot of changes taking place within Activision-Blizzard. I mean, I guess we as like the public probably won't see much, but internally, there's going to be a lot going on as they switch over to, being run by Microsoft. And I think we've actually already started to see a little bit of that in a few different little areas. For one thing, as some of you may have noticed, the Blizzard Gear store went down at the end of 2021 and so far hasn't gone back up. As far as I'm aware, Blizzard never really gave a reason for why they took down the Blizzard Gear store, which of course was the website where you could buy Overwatch, World of Warcraft, StarCraft merchandise, all that sort of cool stuff. Yeah, it went down at the end of 2021 for no particular reason that I'm aware of, and they even had like this big sort of closing sale going on where you could get some stuff for super cheap. And now that we've gotten this news about Microsoft's acquisition, I have to wonder if the closing of the online store was somehow linked to this acquisition. Did Blizzard do this preemptively, knowing that, everything would be shut down and that the Blizzard Gear store would have to go down eventually with this acquisition, so they're like, all right, let's just take it down now? I don't really know the details there. Maybe they're just unrelated and coincidental that it went down around that same time. But also there have been a few interesting things pertaining to the Overwatch Dev Team themselves these past couple weeks. As many of you know, there's an Overwatch content creator Discord server where many of us in the content creator community get to directly interact with some of the community managers and developers in the Overwatch Dev Team. And ever since the start of 2022, they've been very inactive, like to a suspicious degree of them not talking to us. And like, I get it, if they're working on something, I don't want them to be wasting time just talking to us if they're trying to focus on developing the game. But it has felt like, something was up. And I was a bit curious about this over the past few days. And now that we got this news about the Microsoft acquisition, yeah, I'm willing to bet that's more or less what was keeping them busy. Again, we as the general public might not see too many changes with this acquisition, at least not right away, but for the people working at Activision-Blizzard, the people inside the company, this is going to be huge. For a lot of people, there could even be a legitimate concern that they won't be keeping their jobs anymore. I mean, anytime you see a big company takeover like this, there are often a lot of positions that are just cut out entirely and just refilled with Microsoft's own people or, whatever company is buying whatever company. So depending on the situation for the Overwatch dev team at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of panic going around knowing that many of them might end up losing their jobs, which would be very unfortunate for them. But that's just how things go when acquisitions like this take place. Overall, though, I don't really know what else to say about this. It's a huge deal because this is like an unheard of acquisition just in terms of its scale. According to the press release, they're going to be spending almost $70 billion on acquiring Activision Blizzard, which is like, oh my lord. And I thought the Minecraft acquisition was huge back in, 2015 or whenever that happened. This is huge. This is a tremendously massive gaming acquisition, and in terms of like gaming marketplace monopolies, this is a bad thing. I'm just going to say that outright. Monopolies are bad, and the fact that Microsoft is now acquiring another major competitor studio, yeah, that's actually not a good thing just on a grand scale. But specifically for Overwatch, it seems like this could maybe end up being advantageous, helping the game along. Ultimately, though, I think it'll all come down to whether or not Microsoft thinks Overwatch is worthy of the time and effort it would take to develop Overwatch 2. If Microsoft is like, Overwatch, cool game, get it out the door, then hey, we're probably good to go, and we can expect some good things coming for Overwatch in the future. But if Microsoft is like, franchise has seen its heyday already, not much more money to squeeze out of that franchise, then that could end up being a bad thing. Honestly, Honestly, this acquisition I think could go either direction in a lot of different ways, and I'm not really sure what else to say about it at this point. Again, I was not expecting to wake up to this news today, and I'm not used to making videos this early in the morning, so I apologize if I'm more chaotic and scattered than I typically am in my news videos, but it's a very exciting and intense topic, so definitely let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments down below. How do you think Microsoft acquiring Activision-Blizzard is going to affect Overwatch and Overwatch 2? Do you think it's going to be an overall benefit for us Overwatch players, or is it something we should be worried about? Either way, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, hit up that bell icon, and come join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch content. And special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible. If you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. Otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.